know how you get a text alert from the delivery driver before your food arrives, so your hungry kids stop freaking out? Vonage does that.
Hello everyone, welcome to the last talk of today. So here we have Johnny Pong or Jhonnatan, and he'll be giving a talk on the role of Python with infrastructure as code concept. So Jhonnatan is a system engineer and a software developer who loves Linux. He likes to share tech knowledge he learned and make proof of concept that provides solutions for current problems. So without further ado, here is Johnny Pong.
Thank you for your presentation. Welcome everybody. My name is Johnny Pong, Jhonnatan Hill. I'm from Colombia. I'm talking about the role of Python with IaC concept. Today, talking about why IaC, why Python, why enable this new software environment for your company. It's very nice presentation. I wait that you comes to here to learn something new, right? Who's Johnny Pong? Johnny Pong is just a simple human who loves Linux, shared knowledge, and very passionate about the tech in general, especially with make more easy every life that needs to deploy in local mode or any other environment, in production, staging, and development environment. I like this quote about from Confucius: "Life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated." In my case, I love complicate my life because when you enable automate tools for other teams, it's very difficult because you need to know how to the teams enable the or solve something in the current environment. When you know that, you need to apply something new for that. You generate an automate tool, CLI tool for this team, or generate something new for that, for this team, right? That is a little agenda. Talking about the Combos law, what is DevOps, what is SRE, what is DevOps versus CDLC software development cycle, wall of confusion, what is IaC, enable speed over IT teams, why is so important enable IaC, a little demo and question, and thank you. Okay, let's start with Conway's law. An organization design a system. Definitely, we produce design who structure a copy of the organization communication structure. That is the first approach about the Conway's law, but this law apply for all systems. When you define your system, when you define your new software, the company normally generate this software based on the infrastructure organization. When define that, the organization could be a hard organization, a very big process for everything. The software is equals to complexity with the these new features for the new customers, for the people that use this software. When you try to learn about the how to the process works in the company, it's very hard because the company could be generate a lot of tools for new customers, but the complex for this new feature is very complex to generate for the customer, because the customers, oh man, what happened here? Why happened? Why I have a token? Why the enable the process is very hard for me, because I love the easy solutions, but the company have hard solutions. That's the Combos law generate for this thing. The customers generally stretch with the company process, right? What is DevOps? Talking something about DevOps. DevOps from cloud, from Google Cloud, starts with a professional cloud DevOps engineer is responsible for the efficient development operation that can balance service availability and delivery speed. They are skilled using Google Cloud to build software, deliver pipelines, deploy and monitoring service, and manage and learn from incidents. That's a very nice definition. DevOps model find from AWS. DevOps is the communication of cultural philosophy, practice, and tools that increase an organization's ability to deliver application and service. Right? In the same way, enable new tools, enable culture. DevOps is more focused. DevOps exactly is a culture, right? In Azure, talking about the computer development dev and operations teams enables how to these teams talking ABM talking about DevOps. By definition, DevOps outlines software development process and an organizational culture, right? In this way, in this path, we're talking about DevOps, little of culture, culture in my company, culture in all teams, culture in IT team, culture in dev team, culture in QA team, culture in business team that is more hard, and how to this culture change everything around us, around the process, around the communication, around the how to the agility is implicit in this new service, right? This very close to SIRE, Ability Engineering, that it's could be a new definition implemented first by Google. In this case, SIRE, it's the way how to I can implement DevOps in my company, in my IT team normally, but how to this new process enable a lot of ability and speed for the company, for the process, for the everything that around the process, right? How to the business is more easy, how to the software is more easy, how to the customers um, take these new features more easily, and how to enable this new feature more easily and more fast for the customer, right? Um, every company in this case, especially cloud, talking how to SIRE could be works, but you can learn more in deep in these books that shared by Google, especially how to enable ability engineering. You can learn a lot of documentation. You can check a lot of new features about the SIRE, how to the SIRE enables speed, and how to you can do the SIRE in your company, right? But it's more than SIRE is more than DevOps because you need uh, uh, a complete organization needs to change how to the process makes the software, right? Because you need enable agility, you need enable DevOps, you need enable a dev team more strong, you need enable a developer culture over the IT team. It's very hard because normally the IT team is focused in operation and or is sysadmin. How to enable, how to turn on my machine, how to run my cluster in Kubernetes, how to turn or how to deploy this infrastructure, how to deploy a new jar file, or how to deploy a new package in Python time in Python package or Node.js, right? It's a very new concept that enables a new culture for your company. Now, what DevOps, what CLD, what CDLC now? In what part of the ring it's DevOps, right? How to enable more easy, more fast, new tools, new way to development team or business team, the release, the deploy, the operate, the monitoring, how to plan, how to code, how to build, how to test these new features for the team of the IT team and dev team, right? But how to works the CDLC cycle. Um, First, code, test, plan, feedback, monitoring, deploy, release. But how to the development team deploy? How the developing team can deploy in any environment that could be have in local machine, in development environment, or how to deploy in a staging environment, or how to deploy in production environment, right? The business just hey, development team, I need new feature, how to enable this in production the most fast for tomorrow could be. It's a very interesting quote when the business teams, hey, I need a new feature. What is the future? I don't know, but I need new feature for tomorrow, right? It is very hard how to the business generate a new features for the customers and how to these features enables a new customers too. That is the way, and way who you can enable two cycles in the same way, right? Talking about a little of the wall of confusion. The wall of confusion, it's normally when the development team and the operation teams and the business teams and the QA team uh, don't talking, don't talking in with that. Yes, the business define one thing, the UX team define other thing, the development team enable other team, the QA team there's something that business define, but when comes to the ops and operations, what I can do with this package, what deploy this package is a container, is a package, is a function, is a what, how to deploy this package, in where, in development, in staging, in production, what, in what part. In this part, we enable with DevOps and SRE the communication in all paths, right? In business, in UX, and Dev, and QA, and apps and operation teams. How to enable this communication? You can put together in a table and talking about the how to deploy, how to enable, how to develop this new feature, how to test this new feature, how to do these new features for the customers more easily, right? But talking about how to enable these new features more easily, IaC is infrastructure as code. Whoa. But what is infrastructure as code? We're talking about a little of Kubernetes Computer Foundation. Kubernetes Computer Foundation comes to a lot of a big community about the entire world who generate a new rules could be or generate a project that you can use in your daily. You can use products, you can use could be frameworks that enable new features in your company, right? In this part enables automation infrastructure. In this case, we're talking about the how to enable my infrastructure with Pulumi, with Terraform, with Ansible, with CloudFormation, with Azure configuration. That a lot of package manager in around software around the companies that can use in this way, right? You can use these frameworks to enable new speed for your company, enable a lot of new features for your customers, how to do more easily. Right in this part, it's very hard to start with that because you don't have knowledge about the tool, you don't have the knowledge about the how to you can uh, know about the process, but how to automate that process could be put one ticket in Jira or your tickets systems, how to these tickets enable one process over the company. Could be manual, could be automate. How to put this new ticket, enable new infrastructure. How to this ticket enable a new user in Active Directory, or enable an email, or deliver a new email for new customers. I don't know. Enable with one ticket, start one biggest process in their company, right? How to put new infrastructure, how to put new package in all environments, how to generate a new image, how to put these new features in your company in this way, right? But you can learn more in Cloud Computer Foundation. It's a very big landscape. Don't forget check that, because it's a very nice reference that you can use in your current work. Now, enable speed over IT teams. When you can use IaC, you can take two paths. The path when you enable fast every tool that you generate, or you can crash with the wall with this enabled infrastructure, right? When you learn more about the process over the company, and you can learn in deep about this process, you can generate more value about the process, how to enable this more easily with a CLI, with a new tool, with a could be a non-email, could be a new ticket, could be eliminate a lot of meetings around the process, how to deploy in the production mode, in production environment, sorry, or on staging or development environment, how to enable this more easily for my customers and my internal customers too, because normally the company thinks, oh man, how to enable more easily new features for my customer, how to enable these features, but the internal customer is more hard to satisfy because the internal customer is more in the cost, and in company it's more difficult that your presence in the company, right? But you can take this way. It's normally nor in the agile team, in the DevOps team, as I read, the one of code is fail fast, right? Meanwhile, you fail more fast you can fix that, and you can generate new features and more bug fixes in your sprints, in your environment, in your customers, in your product, right? How do you enable these new features more easily, and how do you can fix that more fast? Why is so important IaC? Each and every project has its own unique way of working, and it's reflected in that project release cycle. The best thing about the invest in DevOps is that not only integrates seamlessly with release cycles, but also accelerates them. CI/CD process in application development, which we term a shift left, offers a faster return on investment by allowing developers to catch error early in the software development cycle. Statistics show that 8% detects originate in early lifecycle activities when deployed in development environment, or when deployed in staging environment, not in production. In production, it's the more environment that you can never pass a books, sorry, in this path. 13 and 14 is all IT works is rework. Yeah, when you deploy in development team and development environment or the staging or production is the same steps, but different configuration. But how to enable this more easily, how to put this together, how to put the development team and operation teams comes together and works more easily for my company, right? Because you can enable these new features, you can enable a lot of new features more easily for all teams, not for IT and development teams. No, just a lot, a large of company, a lot of process you can impact using DevOps and SRE, right? But I am talking about the CI and CD process. CI is continuous integration and CD is continuous deployment. Continuous integration is how to you can put the code and generate a new version, right? And continuous deployment is how to you can use this new version and put this version in environment, in development environment, in a staging environment, or in production, right? That it's a big picture about the DevOps and how to enable this new feature and how to the ROI for the companies is impacted directly in this way. Because if you reduce this 30 or 40 percent of the work of my IT team, the IT team generate more value for the company, right? Because generate automate task, generate new features, learn about the new technologies, implement these new technologies, reduce cost about the around the cloud providers. The IT teams have a lot of tasks that in your backlog, but it's normally that like development team. But if you put this task that is so hard to do, this repeatable task in CLI concepts or one tool, the IT team enable new features for the internal customers and the company because reduce the cost could be generate new tasks, generate a task in over the CLI and enable more easily and more fast new features for all customers out of the box, right? It's time to the move demo time, right? A little disclaimer in this, please don't run this in production. I share with you this link in the chat for check before that about the instruction here. Now we move our code. In my case, I generate application with Python. In this case, we can use Pulumi. Pulumi generate IaC concepts, and it's part of the Cloud Native Computer Foundation landscape, especially when deploy a new infrastructure, the automate tool for this automate process. How do you can do? You can learn more about this little demo in this link. When you can clone this repo, you can obtain this README. You can show could be there in this way on your browser, and it's very easily for reading. How to you how to what need for this demo? You need first one Minikube. Minikube is a little tool that you put in a Kubernetes cluster in your local machine, right? In this way, you can enable all concept of cluster Kubernetes in your local machine and use Kubernetes for your POC and generate this value in your local computer, right? In this case, I use Minikube. You can use cloud providers, right? No problem. You can use AWS, GCP, Alibaba if you works with that, or AWS or Azure or IBM. You can use this tutorial with that. You need Kubernetes cluster in this case. In my case, I use HDF in my local machine for install all tools that I need. In this case, could be learn about HDF. It's a very nice tool for enable your tools internally in your local machine and not generate that for Bro, or could be in this way. I use apt package manager. You can change that and use HDF for package manager for your local environment, right? In this case, I put this in my terminal and I wait the HDF generate the magic. HDF installed in this case Pulumi and instead and put Pulumi in the latest version. And other case install Python with the latest version and set the local environments for my latest Python environment too, right? Meanwhile, download the package. Pulumi generate a new concept about the IaC because enable a SDK and how to, with programmatic access, you can generate new features for the internal customer for all your company, right? How to you can put in code how to enable a new infrastructure, how to enable a cluster, how to deploy over the cluster, how to put everything that you need to deploy or ability for the company, right? Pulumi enables to a tools you can generate with other language. In this case, is with Python, but you can use to TypeScript. What else? TypeScript, Python, and Java too for generate these new tools in your company. That's so weird. I launched these commands before for not taking the time. Start Python. Okay. Meanwhile, we check a lot of the code. Okay, the command ends. Create a new folder. Put in this folder. In this case, move on this folder. cd me C and generate new Kubernetes Python projects with Pulumi. Let me show what is the tree for this file. In this case, in Pulumi IaC generate main py, Pulumi dev YAML, Pulumi YAML, this package don't check, and Python environment nothing, right? Check these files. My Python defines how to deploy this new infrastructure, how to enable this infrastructure in the company. In this case, over the cluster, the Kubernetes install new deployment. This deployment generate this source for this deployment. In this part, a little disclaimer: you can use this or hardcore these variables in the code, but you can put this in the definition file. In this case is config pulumi is minikube true. You can put all these variables in the pulumi file. In this demo, we use this config file, and pulumi YAML define what is the object of the program, right? What is the stack, what is the runtime that I use, a description, and the name. Okay, follow the steps. Then check that. PIP install the requirements in there. In case the requirements are already installed. Pulumi review. Okay. Preview. The preview, in this case, connect Pulumi with your infrastructure, right? And check what part of the infrastructure is created and what part not. In this case, Pulumi takes a snapshot with um, a state file. In this state file, makes what is the infrastructure, how to the infrastructure is deployed, and what part of the infrastructure is deployed now. In this case, generate a new infrastructure in stack development, generate this stack, and in this stack, connect with Kubernetes and generate one deployment for Nginx, right? That is the instruction in this code. In this code, we define the deploy a new deployment with this spot that is a Nginx spot, right? In this case, we apply these changes that generate in Pulumi with this command, Pulumi app. With Pulumi app, you can check, you can install this infrastructure. Could be now, because I need to know what actually I have in my cluster of Kubernetes. kubectl get pods in this case. No pods in this name, in this the namespace, right? Before that, before install the Pulumi script, this is yes, we check a cluster of Kubernetes and check what happened. I have a new pod in this case. I have a running new pod that type Nginx, but I deploy deployment in this case. I can check kubectl get deployment. That's it. New deployment with Nginx 25 seconds ago, right? But it's very nice. I can generate new infrastructure, but I can generate more than this infrastructure. In this case, I have this spread of code. And put it here and enable, in this case, a new element, a service over the cluster, all right? And in this part, check if is Minikube is local machine or is other infrastructure, in this case, AWS, GCP, or your cluster out of your local machine, right? Don't save this snippet of code and use the config file, right? Load the config file, pulumi.config, that is the spec, the config file, and how to obtain this variable. Config requireable is Minikube. Minikube is in this file. Pulumi is IRE, is Minikube, true, right? For define is a Minikube or is a cluster of Kubernetes, a complete cluster of Kubernetes. Now, enable a service in Minikube, and that's it. This put in the output and put the name of the deployment generate and the IP, the result of this new change. For these proposals, Pulumi preview, right? In this case, Pulumi generate the state file and check what is the new change. The new change is only the service, right? There's no change for deployment, is no change for the pod. It's just change and add new element. One to create, to unchanged, right? That is the powerful that you can enable with Kubernetes, enable with Python, enable with Pulumi for the company, because you can with this code, with this snippet of code, generate could be infrastructure in AWS, enable infrastructure in Azure, in GCP, in Alibaba, in all providers. And if you can use VMware or other virtualization or hypervisor, you can use these providers with Pulumi for generate and put all you can need to generate in that. You can generate new features in that. Check what service we have in the current Kubernetes. kubectl get services, right? In this case, we have one service that is a cluster API in my cluster. But before sending the Pulumi app, show me the chains that generate with Pulumi preview and apply these chains. Right, in this case, Pulumi is talking with the API with Kubernetes and generate a new cluster, a new service in that. In this case, the IP of my cluster for my service generating there is this API internal in Kubernetes, and this is the name of the deployment, right? kubectl get pods. In this case, the pod don't change. Check the deployment kubectl get deployments. In this case, the deployment don't change. kubectl get service. In this case, we have an Nginx service, the type cluster API, and have this IP, and is 45 seconds ago. That it's a how to you can do, how to you can define these new tools for your IT teams and your company, right? This is a little demo. Thank for Lord because the demo works. And return to the presentation in this case. Okay, I can breathe. The presentation works, and that's it. Could be open for the Q&A. I read here. I don't have questions, and that's it. Thank you, a lot of you. Thank you for coming and give me your time, a little time. I will hope you learn something new with Pulumi and Python. I invite you to learn about the DevOps, about the SRE, about who you can enable a new features in your company for all teams and how to you can change with the little impact, with a little tools, a big impact in your company, right? Thank you for all. Thank you for your time and see you soon.
Thank you, Johnny. So that's the end of the last session. We'll have Humi come in to give a closing. Okay, so the floor over to you, Humi.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, dear participants, we are coming to the conclusion of PyCon MY 2021. So we, as the organizing committee, we hope everyone enjoyed the talks and the tutorial sessions that we lined up for this year's PyCon. Thank you for supporting Python community in Malaysia. This is the second year we are having fully online conference, and we are still discovering many challenges in organizing it. So therefore, there are some participants that are facing troubles like login or viewing the streams. We would like to apologize for that, for the shortcomings of the program. On behalf of the organizing committee, we would like to express our gratitude to the gold sponsors, Microsoft and Elastics, our silver sponsor, Vonage, and special sponsor Citron Marketplace for supporting this event. The discount code contributed by the sponsors will be emailed to you after this event. The participants are welcome to visit the sponsors page on the website to learn more about the offerings. Because the sponsor details are available on the PyCon MY 2021 webpage. Okay, PyCon MY 2021 is 100% run by volunteers. We don't have any permanent employee or staff. These volunteers contributed hours of their spare times and effort to make this event materialize for the community. Furthermore, in the pandemic situations, this year also make it more challenging because we have smaller teams, which is the core teams is less than 5 volunteers. For that, PyCon MY, as the organizer of PyCon in Malaysia, would like to express our sincerest appreciation to Miss Ivy Fung for the as the chair of PyCon MY 2021. Despite the personal challenges she faced, she managed to pull through so that the Python community will get can have a PyCon again in Malaysia for 2021. Thank you also to James as the and Christy as the volunteer who have worked behind the event page. There has been a lot of improvement compared to the last year page, and we are looking forward to improve the page. Thank you to volunteers from Kinabalu Codes, our KC friends, in particular Mr. Nazmi Sofian and also Arthur Raymond, who has been helping providing us ideas and also sourcing more volunteers to help us. Thank you to Zulekha and Mihu for helping with the initial artwork and also social media account. We would like to express our appreciation to Miss Tiong Kian, Mr. Ivan Tam, Mr. Michael Liao, and also for University Malaysia Sabah Students Council for Computer Science Program, namely Miss Siti, Miss Atira, Miss Azila, Miss Asraf, and Pen. These are the volunteers that has been working hard today to ensure the program runs as planned. We also like to express our special appreciation to Mr. Diok Pasqua, Dr. Ivan Ling, and Mr. Sammy Fong for standing as external reviewers for our CFPs. Thank you also to all to whom who has submitted the proposal for CFPs. As a volunteer-run organization, we are always on look for new volunteers to help with the future programs. Therefore, if you are interested, you can contact us by emailing board@pycon.my. This email will be also shared in the website to register your interest to help. And finally, I would like to, on behalf of the PyCon MY 2021 organizing committee, I would like to thank you everyone for spending time to support PyCon MY 2021 event. We hope the session are beneficial for you. We will send a survey form to get the feedback soon, and would sincerely hope your sincere input so that we can improve our for the future PyCons. The recordings will be uploaded to PyCon MY in about 2 weeks time from today, but we will announce when the recordings are available. We will also broadcast the location of the slides once we have it all in our repositories. So with that, I would like to declare that PyCon MY 2021 is officially ended. Thank you again. Please take care of your health and hope to meet you again in the future installation of PyCon MY and PyCon in Malaysia. Thank you.